Good morning, everybody. Dr. Duc Vuong here, world famous bariatric surgeon. I want to do a short video for you to explain why it's important that you continue to wear a mask even though you've been fully vaccinated. So, first of all, if you haven't been vaccinated, I strongly encourage you to do it. I know it's a very polarizing argument, especially here in the United States, which I don't understand. There are other countries that can't get access to vaccines, and here we are. This is talking about serious first world problems here. We arrogantly, I'll say arrogantly, um, you know, we go down this rabbit hole of conspiracy theories and stuff like that about not taking the vaccine, and what that all that does is put people more at risk. I'll give you an interesting statistic. I don't think a lot of people realize this, and countries like the poorer countries like Africa and India and stuff like that, like obviously they're going to have trouble getting the vaccines, right? But did you realize that Japan, a economic world power, um, has only two percent of their population has been vaccinated? Why is that? I mean, it's crazy. For whatever reason, they just are not rolling out the vaccines as quickly as what we have done here in America. And you have to remember, we have the Japanese Olympics, the Tokyo Olympics coming up in a few months. And this is crazy to me to think that they're going to continue, and only 2% of their population has been vaccinated. In the United States, today is May 11th, I think. And, we have approximately a third of all Americans have been fully vaccinated, maybe almost 40%, which is great. But we need to get to 80% to get this herd immunity. So some people, and I don't know why this is, but if you think about the logic here, listen to what they say. They'll say, why should I get vaccinated even if, no, wait, if I still need to wear a mask, then what's the point of getting vaccinated? And I go, oh my God, so your ass doesn't die? Like, I don't understand what you have access to this amazing vaccines that are 94% effective. And of the 6% who actually caught COVID in the studies, and these are big studies, 20,000 people, got the vaccine, 20,000 people got placebo. And there's still all these questions about, these haven't been studied. That's what the trials mean. That's what they do. Do you not take any medicines? Like, I don't understand their rationale. Okay, so anyway, so so of the 6% who got COVID, who were vaccinated and caught COVID, none of them were hospitalized and none of them died. In other words, the vaccinations are 100% effective in keeping your ass alive, which I think is super important. So then people who just don't want to get vaccinated, they'll say, well, what's the point if I still have to wear a mask? And I just go, oh my God, because it's still out there, What's the point of getting vaccinated if you can still catch COVID? Because it's 94% effective in not in keeping you from getting COVID, like the disease. So SARS-CoV-2 is the virus, COVID is the disease. So even if SARS-CoV-2, the virus lands on you in your nose, right, in your mouth because you're smacking your gums, you don't develop the disease, COVID. That's 94%. And of the 6% who gets COVID and gets sick, COVID, 100, none of them died. None of them get hospitalized. But I don't want to have to wear a mask. So ultimately, at the end of the day, all you're fucking saying is you just don't want to be told what to do. You just don't want to cover up that ugly mug. You just don't want to be told like, oh, I'm not sheeple. I'm not controlled. Wow, that's crazy. So, all right, Dr. Vuong, get to the point. If I'm fully vaccinated, why do I need to still wear a mask? Number one, because coronavirus is still out there in very high numbers. Even in the United States, we had an uptick last month, plateaued, and now we're coming back down again. But that's due to the vaccinations. That uptick was the spring break. And Florida, for everyone who's like praising Florida, like, dude, Florida has one of the highest cases in the United States. They've got 10,000 cases at least that have variants in them, right? With the UK variant being the most. And That's only because they only test 1%. They only test the genetic strand of 1% of all COVID cases. So if they tested every single one of them, you'd have a lot more variants. Those are only the ones that we know. So don't be so quick to like sing the praises of fucking Florida. Trust me, man. All right. So COVID is still out there. Their numbers are still out there. You have a chance of being in a public place and someone there has COVID, sneezes or talks to you or sings at you or whatever it is you're doing, and you can get it into your system, right? Into your nose. Now, 94% of the time, you won't know it because you've been vaccinated. You won't have symptoms. That's what 94% fucking means. You won't have symptoms. You won't get the disease, but it's in your nose and your respiratory system. So now you leave that concert, you leave that bar, you come home, and you maybe have a grandmother who lives with you, or your mom who's immunocompromised, or a child who's immunocompromised, or a roommate who's immunocompromised. And now you're talking and singing and yelling at them. You run the risk of spreading this, but you don't know that you have it. Basically, you become this asymptomatic carrier, possibly. Let me come back to this, okay? So, so you could spread this the coronavirus, without realizing you're going to spread it because you're vaccinated, because the vaccine is fucking doing what it's supposed to be doing. It's keeping you safe. All right. Now, so Dr. V, does that mean the vaccination is making it worse? Like, no. If you just wear your mask until the numbers go down. So tip number 2 is this: it's basically a statistics game, right? Like it's a chance game. So as long as there's more cases out there in community, you're more likely to do this. You're more likely to transmit it. You're more likely to spread it on, right? You're more likely to catch it. You're more likely to have it in the nose. If you traveled right now to India, you're more likely to be exposed to it. If you travel right now to Brazil, or if you live in Argentina, these cases are really high, so you're more likely to have it. You're more likely to catch it. I mean, it's just a numbers game, guys. And so if you live in Wyoming or Montana, where there's not that many people, where the the numbers of coronavirus cases is lower, then you're less likely to spread it. But if you live in a congested city like Houston, which numbers are low, Miami, which they had one of the highest rates, in New York, etc., then your chances are higher of spreading it. So basically, when you wear a mask after being vaccinated, you're basically just mitigating your risk. You're just protecting others. You're doing your part in not spreading this virus. You're doing your part. Now, let me address this, because some people were like, well, you don't have to do it. It's not even a real disease. Like, dude, shut the fuck up, right? Because it is a real disease, and we're not getting past this. Oh no, the U.S. numbers are going down. Like, Dr. V, what happened to the spike? And da-da-da. Dude, we're dragging this shit out much longer than we need to. That's number 1. Number 2, globally speaking, we are worse off than we were a year ago. We are worse. We are at our highest numbers globally, right? Due to the Indian variant, due to Brazil, due to Europe, due to Argentina, and these other countries. Now, this is crazy to think that we have higher numbers, globally speaking, without the U.S. being the knucklehead leader. I mean, back in January, numbers were high, and it was because the U.S. was the knucklehead leader. And we haven't even scratched the surface with India. I mean, the case numbers are so much worse in India because they don't have the infrastructure, they don't have the testing, they don't have the capacity to handle 1.3 billion people. So this is going to keep going on. And we are a global community. We get medicines from India. We get clothing from India. We get technology from India. We have people travel back and forth from India. It's 1.3 billion people, y'all. So to sit there and say, well, I don't need to worry about it because that's India, and I'm here in Florida, and I'm just going to enjoy the beach. Dude, that's not what we do. I mean, that's not how we need to behave, right? So, but if you think about the question itself, why should I bother to get the vaccine if I'm still gonna have to wear a mask. Like, it just shows you lack of like future planning, lack of seeing the end, like the goal, the realization. Like, what are you, like, really? Wear this mask for another 12 months and we'll get over this fucking shit, man. Like, it doesn't need to be that long, you know? Like, get your vaccination, wear your mask until we have enough people vaccinated. You're not gonna, what, am I supposed to wear a mask forever? No, you're not fucking supposed to wear a mask forever. You're an idiot. You sound like an idiot when you say stuff like that. You sound like someone who can't control their emotions. You sound like someone who is just a man child. It's There's no difference than that. And my 4-year-old, soon to be 5-year-old, is like, I want cookies now. Like, you can't have cookies right now. I don't want to get dressed. I don't want to go play. I don't want to go to school. Like, yeah, you're gonna go to school. You know, it's just bizarre to me. So, and we know, oh, Dr. V, we don't know masks don't work. We do know it works. That's the whole reason why we didn't have a flu uptick, right? I'll do another video about the flu, because that's another thing that people go, what happened to the flu? What happened to people didn't die? We wore masks and we shut down and we didn't travel. We didn't fly internationally. Good God, people. So, very frustrating, but I get it. I mean, look at this face. Come on. I want to show off this face too. Have you seen my girlfriend, Erica? She's beautiful. I want to show off that face too, you know? But you have to like control this emotion, do what is right for our community, our fellow human beings, you know, and let's get over this. Let's quit politicizing this. Let's quit making this like some sort of invasion into your rights. I mean, it cracks me up. These people who are like, you're Sheeple. You can't tell me what to do. The government's putting a chip. It's tracking you. And they're walking around with a cell phone. The government's tracking you, but give me your cell phone. Oh, I'm not going to give you my cell phone. Well, that's the best fucking tracking device in the world is your cell phone. Oh, no. I'm not taking the vaccine. You can't make me. You can't tell me what to do. Really? Because as long as I can remember, if you're watching a commercial on television, they're telling you what to do. That's why Snickers satisfies. That's why, you know, breakfast is the most important meal of the day. I mean, all these fucking, like, home mortgages, your home is your best investment. All these motherfucking lies that you buy into. It's just this one thing that you've just decided I don't want to do. And you can't tell me what to do. Comment if you agree with what I just said there. If you listen to all of these other people, if you listen to your friends and family who don't want to get the vaccine, who don't want to wear a mask, and all the arguments they talked about. I just did a video on how it doesn't change your DNA. We do know what's in the fucking vaccine, and you know, and all this stuff, right? It all boils down to you can't tell me what to fucking do. That's it. Right? There's no logic. There's no science. There's nothing about what they say. Thousands of people have died. No, they have not. 10,000. So people go like, why should I take the vaccine? You know, 10,000 people have died from taking that vaccine. First of all, no, they have not. They have not. But 600,000 Americans are about to die. See, they want to talk about the 10. They believe. And let's say they're right. Let's say they're right. Which they're not, but let's say they're right. 10,000 people have died from taking the vaccine. Fine. But then they don't want to acknowledge the fact that 600,000 Americans have died. 3 million people worldwide have died. Oh, those numbers are inflated. Those numbers are lied. Those numbers are lied, but your 10,000 number that you just made up in the thin air, that's somehow like we're supposed to believe that. So listen, at the end of the day, you just can't have it both ways. You know, like, I want to get back to normal. I want to travel. I want to see the world. I have a bucket list of things to see, Greece and you know, the archipelagos and just like everywhere. Like, I want to travel. But at this point, we have to do what we can do to get over this. Okay? As always, I will edit this video, put it up on my YouTube channel. I hope you'll share it. And I hope this has been helpful. I hope it makes sense what I said. Love you guys. Have a great day.